Here with me is Mrs. Chineze Ben Nwako, a public health personnel.
Welcome, viewers.
And Nathan Awuku, a social worker.
Hello.
Yes, Chineze, who can we refer to as in-laws?
Yeah. In-laws in this context, when it concerns a couple, man and wife, will include the mother-in-laws, that's the mother of the couple, the mother of the man, mother of the woman, and their children. For here I mean the couple's, the bride's mom,
Okay.
the groom's mom,
Okay.
the groom's dad, the bride's dad, and their siblings.
Yeah, in actual term, as the sister, I agree with her. It's the parents of both couples and their siblings. They are the in-laws. That's the brother and sisters of the man, the brother and sisters of the woman, and both parents are the in-laws in the marriage.
Okay. So to what extent can in-laws involved in the affairs of the married couple?
Before I go into answer this question straight, can I really buttress a fact or a point which I may be pondering in the hearts of some of our viewers who may believe that in-laws can still be extended beyond what our description is? Yes, indeed, in some setting, and depending on who is looking at it, in-laws can be extended, for example, in Africa, to include cousins, far relations, nephews, and so on and so forth. But in some setting, generally, the term in-laws normally is, can I say, confined within the immediate family of these couples. Now, the question you asked is to what extent would they interfere in marriage, if I'm right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about interference in this setting. Interference is in any way not permissible in marriage. It is seen as an intruding. Being an intrusive into a life, or against, in fact, the institution of this marriage. So per se, it should not exist. So we are not here we won't be talking about to what extent would they interfere.
Okay, to what extent can they get involved in the relationship?
Get involved in the relationship? Yes, they are expected to get involved when asked.
Okay.
They are expected to get involved when, for example, when their opinion is sought regarding a particular issue, but not to come and impose a particular norms, a particular culture within a couple or marriage.
Nathan?
Yeah, looking at what we call marriage, before we answer the question whether for what extent the in-laws could get themselves involved, we have to look at what is marriage. Because marriage is a formal union between a man and a woman. And therefore, when they are married, bound by a law, so to some extent they should be left to cater for themselves or for their independence, because they have agreed to love each other, to stay together. So to what extent in-laws should get involved? In-laws can only get involved when the couple seek their assistance, maybe some advice or any other things. But in real terms, they don't have to be getting involved in the affairs, because that can backfire and cause a problem between the two.
Okay, so can in-laws be a role model or a counselor to the married couple?
Yes, to some extent, because this couple, when you get married, you are young. At a certain age, you get married. So in that point, you lack certain experience. So in-laws can be a role model. You look at your parents, how they love each other, how they go about. You look at your in-laws, how they wear, and that can be a sort of inspiration to you, the couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I quite agree with them.
Okay.
Yeah, because one, we have to establish a fact here. In-laws, or rather, let me use the term parents,
Okay.
will normally love their children and will want the best for them. And if that is the case, that suggests here that yes, they have got good advice and they've got within them, they really want the best for these couples. Therefore, yes, they can act in this setting or in this instance as not just as a role model, but as counselors. But this is if need be.
Okay, you said something now that they can actually get involved
Yeah.
because they want best for their children. That time of wanting best from in-laws, do you think by the time you want the best for your, let's assume the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, want best for his own son, because if I want the best for my own daughter, you also want the best for your own son. Now,
This came to a point when, when we decide to get married to each other, there should be some sort of compromise, acceptance. You like me, I like you. The family must also accept each other. So there should be a balance between this. It's not a matter of I want the best for my daughter, I want the best for my son. It's a matter of we want the best for the couple.
oh, okay,
Yes,
you want
we
the best for the couple.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is what we are looking
In
at.
the okay, you want the best for the couple, right? If you want the best for your own, I'll still go back to that and where I'm coming from. I want the best for my own child. You want the best for your own child. In Africa, that best that we are talking about, to some extent, is how will I put it? Is can be as an intruder.
Yeah.
Because you can actually teach your daughter what you want her to do for the husband. And you'll be saying for your own interest, whereas the interest is not the real interest.
Yeah, basically, the issue of wanting the best for your children really is a function of definition of this best.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want the best for your child, obviously you will want the person to have a happy home.
Yeah.
And to have a happy home, you'll be able to define your boundaries. You'll be able to see or know how to balance views to suit their need. And not, just to be selfish in your decisions or in trying to advising them as though you do not really want the best for them. This is always the case when you have this conflict in relationships whereby, for example, a particular couple or rather a parent of a boy, for example, might decide or to look at their own son's wrongs as being right, all because they believe that the interest of their son should be protected in the marriage. And as such, when such a thing is in place, you find out that there is this, instead of them now wanting the best for this couple, is actually not there for the best that they're giving. This is because within them exists this unbalanced or imbalanced interest. You understand? They favor one
than the
than
other.
the other.
And once the other one noticed,
Yeah,
It become
there
an
will be
issue.
conflict.
yeah, the conflict. Yeah.
So what are the expected responsibilities, again, of the in-laws to the married couples?
Yeah, that's as I said earlier on. The marriage is between a man and a woman
Okay.
who have decided that we love each other, we want to live together. When a man marries a woman, he becomes part of the family. You understand? And they have to live together and in happiness, in understanding. Irrespective of the background of the two couples, whether one family is rich or not. So there should be some sort of a balance that we are coming to form a union. In this case, the in-laws must give these couples to function on their own. If I should use the word autonomy, to give an autonomy on their own, so that they can get into each other, know each other, move, you understand?
Yeah.
But when in-laws begin to advise in a bad way or trying to influence one or the other, it becomes an issue. It becomes an issue. That is where the problem starts. And because mother-in-law will come into it, and then the son cannot find it difficult to talk to say something bad to the mother, and it becomes an issue. So these couples should be left alone to function independently. Or they can, in-laws could only come in when the couple seek the advice or they are help in some things. Yeah.
Well, you know, in Africa, most mothers don't actually leave their son for the woman, which has always been an issue. In Africa, Asia, I don't know much about UK.
We know of an instances where mother-in-laws, especially the mother of the son, always try to impose certain things, rules in the family, or trying to see how things are going, especially when the man is somebody who is
Soft.
the breadwinner or a bit prominent in the family. The mother feel like part of her is taken away. But and it becomes an issue when the mother begin to impose certain rule in the family. But this is where the man must stand up, try to talk to the mother-in-law, because you have married, you are now no more with your mother, so you have to stand firm. Tell your mother, Mom, I'm now married, there are certain things, it won't be like it used before. And at the end of the day, God has created it that a man will live one day to be with his wife. So the mother-in-law must accept that issue.
How about in sense where the son cannot look straight to the eye of his mom? What should happen to the woman?
Okay. When the son cannot look straight and to tell the mother, stay away from my marriage.
Yeah.
Yes, this happens sometimes. If this becomes the case, there's always a collapse of this marriage. Now, the basic thing here is that if you reference the Bible in the book of Matthew 10:14 through 16, they said that God, who made them in the beginning, made the man and the woman. And for this cause, a man, therefore, should leave his family, his father's house, his mother, his father, and cleave unto his wife, and both of them shall become one flesh. And further down, if you look into the Luke, as in Luke Gospel, it said, what therefore God have joined together, let no man put asunder. But you see, on a woman who has got great influence, or in a mother who has got influence on the son, such that he or she, that she controls the son, should prepare herself for the evil days ahead of her. Because there will get a time when she will get the result of what she is doing. To this fact that I'm sure she will not be happy with herself in the end, because when your son is not happy in his marriage, in his own home, there is nowhere else to find joy, not even in the woman, not even in the mother. That should just stand out in our hearts, in our minds as women, even as we say we love our son. Because here we really need to really define within ourselves what is this love. If I say I love my son, I don't want anything evil of him to happen to him. I want his happiness. He wants to be happy in marriage. Therefore, I should conform to all that will make this marriage work. So the issue of going to exert pressures or force my son to comply and handle things the way I want it to be done shouldn't arise if I am in the first place a good mother and believe that I love my son.
For all those times you stood by me, for all the truth that you made me see, for all the joy you brought to my life, for all the wrong that you made right, for every dream you made come true, for all the love I found in you.
Let me cite this. In a situation, there are some mother-in-laws that would just hate their daughter-in-law. They would, without any reason. So if a woman is in that position or in that situation, what can she do?
It becomes difficult when something like that sort happens, because it brings tension between the couples. Because the man finds it difficult to say certain things to the mother, and the daughter-in-law too. It becomes difficult because and you see that it begins to create tension between the two of them. When such a situation happens, because in most cases we hear those things in Africa where mother-in-laws are always in the marriage as if they are part of the marriage. What we have to understand is, once your son is married, he is married. He's no more going to be like he used to be with you. So you have to accept the fact that my son is now married. All you have to do, if you really love your son, you have to support the marriage. Do your best for the marriage to succeed. You don't have to bring tension between the two of them for the daughter-in-law to be always unhappy or feeling very miserable in their marriage. Because marriage is a long journey. It's a very long journey.
Unended journey.
Yeah, an unended journey. And when somewhere along the line it breaks, it does not affect the couple, but it affects the children. The children will never be the same as the two parents are together. So these are some of the things the mother-in-laws are to look at, to make sure they don't interfere to create tension between these two people who have come together to form a union.
But additionally, when we've got some defiant mother-in-laws, as you know there are, yes, what my advice here would be is for them, both the couples, to always reference that saying, the popular saying that said, divided we will fall, but united we shall stand. I know that if couples are united in love, united in opinions, united in their actions and so on, there is no place within that mother-in-law could stand. Neither will there be any interference that will ever work. So the issue remains that within us that say that we are married, we're married couples, we have to really understand what we mean by marriage before we get engaged or involved in this. And we should also go back to the Bible and reference the days of the Bible, how it was done, and what actually the Bible means by agape love, the kind of love that should exist, the kind of relationship that is needed of you, where you have to really leave your mother, leave your father, cleave onto your wife, and both of you will be one in opinion, one in decisions, and one in everything. This is the only reason why they could stand. However, this is not to suggest or say that in trying to be one, there are times that there will not be times when there will be misunderstanding and challenges. Let us note that even within or amongst siblings, there exists some problems and so on and so forth. But the maturity in the whole thing is, how did you go about your problem? Problems in marriage should be handled and tackled in unity. When couples unite, they will see their problems or whatever they've passed through as a ladder towards the strengthening of their home and their marriage. I always advise people, don't listen to gossip about your couple, your spouse. Don't ever. Because by the time you open your ear, you will hear more. But when you say to your gossip, listen, I love him, whatever he's done, if it's against me, he's done it in error. If he's done it, if he didn't love you, he wouldn't get involved in the beginning. But if you exchange your love for one another, I want to encourage our viewers out there, please stay in that love. Don't look back, look left and right in issues regarding your marriage. Women, I must also encourage, see that marriage as your territory. Do not allow any interference. Don't allow gossip. Don't allow in-laws or in any form to come in where they are not supposed to. only when they're invited. And listen to them whenever, whatever they say. Don't ignore them. Listen to their opinion. They have got, maybe they have more experiences, like my colleague said. Because they've been there before you, maybe they've got instances, whatever, to cite from, or it's one kind of, anything they have to offer. Listen to them, to what they say, come together as a couple, deliberate on this issue, what they have raised, and see how you work your ways out united to go around your problems rather than exacerbating.
So, like, what responsibilities do couple holds their family members?
Respect. They owe them respect. 2, one Bible said, honor your mother and your father, that your days may be long. This is the only commandment in the Bible that is attached to the promise. I am someone that believes so strongly in the word of God. Now he said, honor your mother and your father, that your days will be long.
Exactly.
What that suggests is that if you disobey them, automatically your life on earth
will be short.
There's no two ways about it. But you see, to what extent is this honor? That you are married should not take you away from responsibilities or take you away from that which God is still saying here. Honor your mother, honor your father, that your days may be long. But you see, in honoring them, please respect your spouse.
I agree with what my sister said, and just to add to it, as she said, is respect. Respect your in-laws. Because when the Bible says we should respect our mother and father so that we can belong on this earth, it does not specifically mean your biological father or your biological mother. It means respect all elders. Whether they are your relation or they are not, respect all others. Because when you give respect to people, no matter how hostile they may be to you, you realize that they will realize what they are doing, and then will start going back about what they are doing to you. So your respect will win you over them. So the respect is the antidote to such a situation, and you will win them.
That's correct. And another is love.
Love, yeah.
Okay, what is love?
Yeah, love. You need to love them. And love in this context is, you care for them, honor them, show affections, show concern, do not neglect them. This is love, loving you.
Is gift part of love? Gift.
Or giving them gifts?
Yeah.
Yes, and that is not really love, but it can be seen as depending on why you're giving the gift, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what you're giving. Yes, an expression of love, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, an expression of love, yes.
It's a way of expressing yourself to the family.
Yeah.
Because there are some people they value, let's say, when it's during Christmas or any occasion or my birthday, and then you remember to send them a card. It shows how you respect them. It shows how you love them. It shows how you want to accommodate them into your life. So those things, there are little things that makes it, we call it spice. You spice it. You see, marriage is a very sweet something, but it depends on how you spice it, and you will really enjoy it.
Yeah. I overheard some couples some months ago. The lady was like, she used to buy gifts to the in-laws, show all she could in her own capacity. But at the end of the day, they were like, what have you done that no one has ever did before?
Yes, some people really do not appreciate whatever you do for them. This shows that it's ingratitude. they are not happy or they are not satisfied, but that doesn't mean that you should stop being nice or good to them. Remember, your in-laws are very important in your husband's life. And if they are important to him, they are as well important to you.
So true.
You understand?
Yeah.
So you do your best, give in your best, though they may not appreciate your gift, they may not appreciate whatever you do, though they may not appreciate all you do to make sure that the family or marriage work, it wouldn't matter when you are united. Like I keep saying, the key thing is unity between you, between man and the woman. When once they are united, they can handle every problem that may come their way. They will handle issues like this. They can. And some, like you said, yes, I've also had instances where some friends come to me and said, you seem to have a very nice marriage and calm home. I said, oh, you may think it's calm, but you see, it's all hard work. It's all hard work. And you knowing what you should be and what is expected of you as a woman. It's not calm, no marriage is calm. There is always ups and downs. But depending on how you manage the conflict, the troubles, whatever that stands up, this is what defines, or rather gives us a clue into what your future would be. Are you going to make it later, or are you going to cut it short on the way? But in all and all, unity conquers all. Whether they appreciate you or whether they do not appreciate you, note, you are not under obligation at all to do what pleases them. You are never. I've never seen where it's written in the Bible, not even in the social world, where it's a standard thing that you must do something, you're under obligation to do this and that. However, you may argue, saying that culture demands that this and that. But when you look at this way, when you look at it this way, culture also demands that you leave them to function as couple, to use their initiatives, to come up with ideas, to do this and that. So if you also reference this and you have this again in your mind, you should also know that when you are defining a particular concept in a particular setting, there is always a context in which it is defined. I hope you get what I mean.
Yeah.
There's always a context. You don't just define this as a broad definition of what it is. That's what it's geared towards what is meant to achieve. Unity is the key thing
It's unity in home.
Yeah, because as the sister said, you have to look at the context, because it's not a matter of you giving them a gift that will win them over. You have to, from the very initial stage, as a couple, you have to look at certain things, what things your in-laws like, how they are, what makes them happy or something like that. Because as a daughter-in-law or son-in-law, you need to keep a good relationship with your in-laws, irrespective of the background or what they are. You have to try and maintain good relationship with your in-laws. So you, from the initial stage, you look at what would make it that relationship to go on without any interference. Yeah. So these are the things you have to look at. So it's not a matter of giving gifts. Sometimes you just call when it's a birthday. Oh, mommy, I know today is your birthday, so I just want to wish you happy birthday. It's not a matter of sending gifts or anything, just to wish it. So you look at the situation, as the sister said, the context of at which the whole thing started. And then